One of the best habits that I've forced myself to get into over the last several years is to take my time. I mean, even when you're in a hurry, think about what you're doing, but that allows you to clean up and prepare as you go. And what I mean by prepare is prepare for the next time you get into your truck. I don't know how many of you guys have ever, when you bought your truck and you had to go through all the crap when you were trying to maintain it that the previous owner had set you up with, but it's usually kind of a mess. And so that's one of the reasons why I like to pull the fender well out. You really get a look around at things. And I don't know if you can see right now. I'll give you just a second. If you take a look, it's pretty obvious that is wrong that I could fix while I'm in here. And I wouldn't have seen it if the fender well wasn't in here. We'll get closer. Okay, the battery cable's off. That doesn't count. That's what we're doing here. And I just pulled that off. But my glow plug cable is a little frayed there. No big deal. Yeah, what about this guy right here? My manifold bolt is just sitting there loose, hanging out about half an inch. So I may have had a little bit of an exhaust leak there. And then these exhaust bolts here are kind of the wrong ones. They're stainless steel, but see the heads are so close. I can't ever get a wrench on them, and it's just a major, what a stupid thing to have a problem with, but it's such a major thing. So I've got some ARP bolts, stainless steel 12-point bolts coming in, and that will alleviate that problem. I'll be able to get a socket up there and be able to get those tightened up. Anyway, the reason I brought that up is over on the other side, while I was doing this job, I crawled underneath there and I noticed that one of them had fallen out too. So getting your eyeballs or looking around and just cleaning stuff up as you go. There's something else I noticed right there. See that little green guy, that little green jewel hanging down there? Yeah, that scared the piss out of me. Coming down up off my head. So I'm looking around back in here and I can see it all around the base of my head, and I'm feeling a little bit more poop come out, and I followed all the way up and I'm thinking, geez Louise, I haven't had any signs of a blown head gasket or anything, but what the hell's going on here? And but I followed all the way up, and then look at that. Get that focused in there. That sumbitch there. I've got, I took out that quick connect that they put in just for ease of assembly. Really all it is just going down the assembly line and they go snap, pop it in, move it on. But it's a pain in the ass. It gets old and it leaks and all that other stuff. Well, I pulled that out and just put that hose in there. Well, that leaks too. No big deal though. I just tightened up the clamp, so I'll just keep an eye on that. So, just taking a look around your work site here and make sure everything's cleaned up and tightened up and working properly. I'm going to do something about this. This is the 18 turbo that I love. Got a little bit of a squirter here in leaking, but I'm definitely going to upgrade all that at some point. Another thing I did is where that glow plug cable is frayed there. It was my downpipe was mashed up against it there, so I'll be able to wiggle the downpipe out and give it a little bit of clearance there. So anyway, I just wanted to point that out to show you that I'm taking a little bit extra time as far as taking the inner fender out and just sitting here just take 2 minutes, 3 minutes just to take a look around and peek around everything, just making sure it's okay and clean it all up. One of the biggest things is you get crud down in there. I cleaned a little bit of it out, but it's all just dirt and it gets wet and it sits there and holds the water, and that's where these things rust out. So you can get down in there and clean it up and get a vacuum cleaner in here. I mean, this sounds like maybe foreign talk to some people, but it's not that big of a deal. And man, I tell you what, it only takes 10-15 minutes in a job to make it a lot better. Along those lines of preparing for the next time is when I put that bolt in, I'm going to put some anti-seize on it. I think I did the first time. I'm pretty sure I did, but it's been out. Oops, geez, no focus there. It's been out, wiggled out for so long, it probably just all washed away. But I'll put some anti-seize on there. I'll clean the threads up, bring it into a die, and I don't think I can fit a tap up in there, but clean the threads up. Man, all this stuff doesn't take too much more time, and it just makes it a lot easier. As an example, pulling that inner fender out the last time when I put this motor in, I had put an anti-seize on all of the can see a little bit there. Put anti-seize on all the bolts, and boy, they just came right out. And that's just crazy talk there. So you can get down in there, and this is usually all kinds of full of crap and dirt, and again, it starts to rust back in there. I may spray some rust preventative on there to slow that rust down a little bit in there, but I noticed that my hose, my guard on my hose is spun around, so it's rubbing on the bottom of my radiator hose there. So I'll spin that around. Anyway, all the little things will really help out. A lot of these trucks, guys get really exasperated at the issues that they have with them, and really all it is the buildup. Not all it is, but a lot of what it is. It's a buildup of the little things that could have been prevented to begin with. So, like right back in there, you see the bracket, the support bracket. That thing's broke, busted clean through, all the way. Man, that thing has had no support. I had no idea that was going on. There's no way I could have known. So I'll be getting a new support bracket and putting it back on there. Boy, you need that back support bracket working. I'll get down there and take a look at my block. I'm sure it's okay, but holy cow, that could have caused some major problems. You bust that starter off, the bolts, the actual mount bolts that hold that starter on into the block, and you'll bust them off. Boy, that motor is pretty well done. So my optimizer would have been cake or toast. It's probably more accurate. Boy, I'm glad I found that.